The afternoon after the night before. Join us for an explosive expose about who we circuited with last night as stunning decision looms amid whispers of doghouse. Travis Head and Annabelle Sutherland give very different acceptance speeches last night while holding the coveted medals in honour of their crowning achievements. And what a week it's been. Absolute and total destruction on the field from both cricket teams with a combined winning total of 2 innings and 364 runs, I think. Australia win by 2 innings and 364 runs, I think. But we're never happy. Too many ads, had to switch a channel too many times, not the right games on the right channel at the right times, not the right people playing, not the right people scoring the right hundreds, the wrong names going on the wrong honours board. Alex Malcolm joins us on the couch to help us make sense of it all. There's also Kohli getting castled in the Ranji trophy, a bit of England meltdown stuff, AskTGC, Champions Trophy, and probably some loose stuff in between because it was a hell of a casino circuit last night. Pezza, how are you feeling? It's late. I'm sorry for it being late.
Oh, likewise. We do this together. How am I feeling?
How are you feeling?
It was a lovely night. It was Australian cricket's night of nights.
It was night of nights.
We said that several times to each other.
Yeah.
It's the night of nights. No, mate, I'm good, thanks. Feels like we're getting towards the end of the summer. We're in a different kind of setup right now. That also feels odd and knocks me off my equilibrium.
Yep. It's the Patreon setup.
Yeah, that's right. So that's odd, but no, mate. Otherwise, very good. Thanks for asking. It was with full disclosure, I'd suggest we had a look last night.
Yeah,
and that will trickle into and contextualise the pod today. But that's the truth.
It was very much a cash in after tea situation. Tea being the finishing of the awards.
Yes, correct.
Highlights for me. It's going to be tough to go past calling Nick Hockley tonsils to his face. And then explaining why we called him tonsils.
and having to make a few explanations of it as well.
And he didn't laugh.
He's never heard it. He just laughed.
Yeah, because it's tonsil hockey, tonsils Hockley. It's sort of a bit of a stretch, but how are you, tonsils?
You're over familiar with people. They don't realise you've spent a lot of time speaking about them. He's a lovely man. Always has been. He was having a great night.
He's a great bloke.
He's coming to the end of his tenure.
Yeah.
He was celebrating as he should.
Yeah.
And we just kept walking up, going, "Oh, yeah, tonsils."
Yeah. Bison, one of the great beers. Xavier Butler, just naming people we know now.
Yep.
But
he didn't invite us to call him that.
No, we didn't, but a bit over familiar. Spencer Johnson's hair looking fantastic. You know what? It was just a good night. Kimmy G was there. Yep. Kingy. Whole team. I wish I had more stories that I could reveal on the podcast, but
we're lucky. We're lucky to do what we do.
Thanks for all the messages and the support over our light touches for the Cricket Awards. It was just a couple of floor interviews, trying to make the people laugh, trying to make the people happy, and we might have made someone laugh, maybe somewhere. Anyway, thanks for the nice messages, and it's always really nice to be a part of it. I guess we've done bits and pieces over the last couple of years, so it was great. Richo, tremendous host. Emma Friedman, one of the greats. People are going to want like lift the hood stuff, like fucking tell us who's shit and who's awesome, but.
The women's team were partying. They were in party mode. That was good. It was good to see. Like good on the dance floor as well.
Bit of a shame the boys weren't there. Let's call that out. Like the test team.
Yeah,
but because a lot of people would be like, "Why the fuck did they do it then?" But I don't know what window they could have done it, because if they did it before the men went to Sri Lanka, well, that's during the Big Bash and the Women's Ashes, and like the voting for both of those things was still going on, so you couldn't do that. And then if you do it after the Sri Lanka, I don't know if any of the guys are coming back from Sri Lanka before they go to Pakistan.
The Champions Trophy, starts on day 4 of the second test.
So and then if you do it after the Champions Trophy, well, the IPL wouldn't be far away. Plus, it's then footy season. So I mean, it's almost footy season now, to be honest, in February. But so it's just one of those things I think where I don't know what window you could have done it. Obviously, it just makes it so much better when everyone's available to be there. But Bob Bison was there.
A lot of praise for your double-breasted jacket as well. if you don't mind me commenting on you and your body, it was, and I'd like to add my own admiration to it.
Thanks.
But speaking a bit distantly with my language,
of course,
I'd like to add my own. I haven't added it. I just say I'd like to. At another time. Yeah,
a nice touch from Peter Jackson and the Channel 7.
Thanks for asking.
Channel 7 wardrobe department.
Yes, the stylists.
Yeah, it's just trying something out. So anyway, should we talk about the awards themselves? Travis Head gets a top gong for AB medal plus ODI Player of the Year. Pretty popular choice. I thought his acceptance speech was beautiful. Just a thumbs up. You know, CA decided to film that on someone's phone without a microphone.
Yep, it's good. Is that right?
and then he did speak to Tom Wilson, who's over there with Channel 7, right? So he did say a few things, but a few words. But it was a weird. It made it feel weird where like Andrew McDonald spoke facts to him.
Yeah.
Completely emotionless.
Yeah.
And then he just goes, just thumbs up. Yeah, cheers.
You've shown your quality. Consistent across all three formats. Congratulations.
It's a lot of Alex Malcolm about it.
Yeah, I mean, I would never pretend to do it, but yeah. Well done.
Alex joins us in. We've already filmed, so recorded that a bit earlier. Alex is a great chat as per usual, in good form. Alex was in good form last night as well.
He was, yeah.
Annabelle Sutherland. You want to say talking about Travis Head?
Heady. No, I mean, yeah, and
the best year.
No, yeah, it is an admired figure as well. I mean, Mitch Marsh was saying he's his favourite cricketer last night. He's a lot of people's favourite cricketer, and very, very deserving. I mean, if they'd read out Pat Cummins, I'd have been like, I would have shrugged my shoulders and gone, yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But Travis Head as well. I just again shrug and go probably.
Here's like so Hazelwood gets Test Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Now, if they the test that they've played in 2024 was the 2 tests against the West Indies, one of which they lost at the Gabba. Where was the first? That was at Adelaide and Brisbane. Then they had the Cricket Awards in February. Then they went to New Zealand. They played 2 tests there.
Yep.
And then Hazelwood played both those tests in New Zealand. He played both the ones against the West Indies, and then he played 2 tests against India.
Yep. So
he's played maximum 6 test matches. Well, he did play Brisbane, but he played like half a test match, didn't he? And he's got Test Player of the Year.
Well, I suppose he's man of the match in 2 of those.
I'm just confused if they must have included the West Indies games in January.
Have to have, yeah. Otherwise, he's become Test Player of the Year off the back of 4 tests.
He played well.
Yeah,
numbers are good.
Yeah,
it's just surprising because Cummins is like literally player of the series for the Border Gavaskar, which is 5 test matches. And anyway, the votes are the votes. I'm just surprised that he was Test Player of the Year. Zippy got T20 Player of the Year. Can't remember a single T20 game. I guess they had the World Cup.
Yep.
I guess they had the World Cup. But yeah, Annabelle Sutherland, BC medal, popular choice, I think. Spoke really well.
Yep.
CEO stuff, impressive. You know.
Yeah.
How old is she? 23.
Yeah, something like that.
Future.
Just type that in.
Do you reckon Annabelle Sutherland's going to be better than Elise Perry?
Water cooler chat.
Yeah.
Podcast chat.
2 blokes in a bar talking about sport.
Yeah, thought about renaming the show to that. Just 2 blokes in a bar yakking about sport, compellingly and entertainingly, for the enjoyment of the masses.
2 men saying athletes' names over a beer.
Yeah. The Big Brekkie Breakfast.
That's my favourite radio show. What do you got there for me?
23.
23.
Yeah.
Turning
24.
Yeah, but how is she now?
Yeah, exactly.
What else you got for the Allan Water medal?
AB
and the BC medal.
Oh right, is it is it the ushering in of a new era?
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at, I suppose, when I'm asking.
Head and Sutherland.
Head Sutherland, yeah.
Yeah, some new names, new toys, new names to sort of wrap the old grey matter around.
Yeah, it is a bit like it is becoming increasingly like who plays the most amount of games. You know, I mean, I
guess that's part of it as well. Getting picked, yeah.
That's how you get the votes to get the top gong. You got to be across 3 formats and you just play heaps of games. You got to be available for the games. You know, because like Cummins misses games here and there, for instance.
Yeah, I'd like to see Stark get it. I just want him to share it around. When all the guys who have done well over a period of time just to have a crack.
Nathan Lyon's never won
a child. Nah, he doesn't get the formats.
Any idea who won it before Mitch Marsh last year?
Oh,
maybe Cummins probably. Yeah.
Yeah, no, hell of a night. I mean, it was paired back, wasn't it? It was a paired back event.
Yeah,
the men weren't there, but a great chance to spotlight the women who've done very well. Everybody on the night was in great form. It was a cool thing to do. You know, some of our jokes landed, some didn't. You know, sometimes we overreached. Speaking personally, sometimes we didn't. Yeah, that's life.
Why wasn't Michael Clark there? inducted into the Hall of Fame. Why don't we go? Can we talk about Michael Bevan's salad? It's one of the great comebacks. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, we can. The comeback. I mean, he uses eugenics.
I mean, the coverage is unbelievable.
Well, that's a shout out to his hair therapy.
It's a credit to the therapy.
Yeah, eugenics. It's called. Look it up. But be specific with when you look it up around the eras that it refers to. This is a business. Not don't go. I mean, it's very hard to avoid.
Don't go to the other stuff. Yeah.
Eugenics. Yeah.
Christina Matthews was she spoke really well as well, inducted into the Hall of Fame. She's done such good work with like Western Australian cricket as well. I mean, fuck, you've gone the eugenics, haven't you? Fucking hell.
So
am I doing this as well?
Just type it in. But that's the name of the hair therapy that Bevan uses.
Okay.
So shout out to them because it's wonderful coverage.
Oh, fucking hell. Why do they call their business that?
I don't know.
Fuck. Oh, shit. Fuck. I don't want that in my fucking search history.
Yeah, that's right.
That's way worse.
There goes your algorithm.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it's already there. I didn't ask for it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Just pops up, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's right. It's weird, that.
Christina Matthews was...
awesome. What a legend.
Totally.
Well, she shouted out a dear friend of our show as well.
Yeah, that's right.
She maybe quite artistically, forewent his last name.
Yeah,
maybe that's for the best. But Mark Atkinson, Atco, has been he's a huge influence, on both of us.
Yeah.
So good to see him get a shout out.
Yeah.
First name only. But
his last name.
The sentiment was there.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Anything else from the Australian Cricket Awards last night, Pezzo?
No. I think you've
nailed it.
You've summed it up nicely. I thought Cameron Green spoke very well.
That's true.
He spoke with poise, and his cause is real, and he's made an authentic contribution to it as well, as far as I understand. Speaking to some people afterwards. So that shout out to Greenie.
Just people might have seen in the news that Pete Lalor, our friend and partner with Cricket et al., was let go from his post at SEN while he was in Sri Lanka. Pete wrote about it on Cricket et al. And well, I think you've actually got the quotes there, Pezzo. What he said.
For people catching up. I mean, we're talking about this because we're in business with Pete, and it's in the cricket media and wider media a little bit. But for background, this is what Pete wrote, or just a sort of a summary of what Pete posted. He said he received 2 calls from senior management at SEN on the 3rd day of the first Gall test, and he was informed on the 4th morning he could no longer work for them. So just reiterating, this is Pete's. This is from Pete's article. He was told that there were serious organisations making complaints about his Twitter reposting.
Yeah.
He's reposting on X over a long period of time, which documents, I guess, atrocities or videos just displaying pain and suffering of Palestinian people, including children.
Right.
So he's been reposting those kinds of things for a while. He said, in one call, there were serious organisations making complaints. In another, he was told this was not the case. Maybe he misunderstood, he said, but there was accusations that he was anti-Semitic, that he objected to. He was told his retweeting was not balanced. He was asked by the station boss, Craig Hutchison, if he didn't care that his retweeting of events in Gaza made Jewish people feel unsafe. He said he didn't want to make people feel unsafe. Of course he cares. He said it was a brief call. He said the following day Hutchison told him that, quote, the sound of my voice made people feel unsafe and that people are, quote, triggered to my voice. And he could not cover cricket for them anymore. So that's just context. I only want to say one thing, just one comment, which is... we're very proud to be in partnership with both Pete and Gideon for Cricket et al.
Yep.
Pete's our friend and colleague. He's a man of integrity. He's a guy whose work we admire greatly. We support him fully. If you do too, as a listener or viewer, a material way to do that is to read his excellent work at the independent media venture of Cricket Our Tale itself, where you will find a plurality of views. And everything else after that is a slippery slope of conversation.
Yeah.
So it's just a material comment that we back him, we're in business, we're in partnership, we're proud of him, we support him.
Totally right.
End game.
Let's talk about the cricket.
Yes.
Which is what we usually do.
Stay in your fucking lane.
Stay in your fucking lane.
Tim Lane.
Australia beat Sri Lanka Pezza by an innings and 242 runs.
Okay.
So what happened in that game is Australia got 654.
Right.
They lost 6 wickets and they thought that's enough, we'll stop there.
Okay.
And they bowled
That's too long.
Sri Lanka out for 165 and then 247. Okay. In the first innings, Usman gets 232, Travis Head 57, Marnus 20, Smith 141, Inglis on debut 102, Carey 46 red, Slug 23, Stark 19 red. Okay. That's what happened in the first innings. Fucking Usman does it again away from home. Steve Smith has scored, that's his 35th Test 100. I actually saw a stat, I think it's right, that's his 16th away 100. Which is equal with Steve Waugh and must be Ponting, I would have thought. He's back, baby. The eyes are back with Steve Smith. And
he's back in the Matrix.
What about Inglis coming in at 5 and just peeling off 102 off 94 with 10 fours and a 6? Fucking imperious, amazing. So once again, Bailey head on a pike.
Bailey, it's a disgrace.
That's right.
The selections were a disgrace.
Kerneman comes in. He takes 5 for 63 when they roll through Sri Lanka for 165 and 52 overs. Nathan Lyon picked up 3. Starkey, congrats, 2 for 13. Then they put him straight back in. They did the thing that doesn't often happen.
Have another crack.
Dobbed him in. And Kerneman took 4 for 86. Lyon 4 for 78. So Kerneman takes 9 for the match. Lyon takes 7. Todd Murphy just took 1 pole in the second innings, and Kratz picked up 1 as well in the third innings of the game. So I don't know where you want to pick it up with. We talked to Alex Malcolm.
They were playing against Endeavour Hills, 3rd grade.
Fuck, they were bad, weren't they? They were bad. I mean, look, favourable toss perhaps, but
good toss to win.
Sri Lanka forgot how to use the DRS. They dropped a bunch of catches.
They did not look at the races.
No.
Did they look? There's a lot of national chest beating at the moment, and rightly so. Totally. I'm going to explain that. Well, what else are you meant to do?
Yeah.
This is the time to do it. But was there an intimidation factor? Does the Australian team have aura now? I fail to believe it, especially under Woke Cummins.
Of course.
Woke left hard.
Yeah, because I was saying on the dailies, we're obviously doing dailies for the second test as well, starting on, it's Thursday, right? The second test starts on Thursday?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. I was saying, I would have thought Sri Lanka, they'd be so disappointed with how the first day went, because they basically lost the game in nearly the first session when Head came out and smashed them. But because they don't get many tests. They're playing 4 tests this year. There's 2 tests against Australia here. They play against Bangladesh at home as well, in 5 months' time or something. So hardly any tests, which is fucked, obviously. Everyone agrees with that. They were so close to making the World Test Championship. They could have actually, this series could have been alive had other things happened in South Africa, I think. And, so it's a big team coming to your home. They want to show that they're a good team, they can compete, and they just fucking turn out it's their biggest ever defeat in Test cricket. The biggest ever defeat. They must be disappointed with that. Sorry, of course they are. But, not using the reviews, the catching, the batting looked fucking unders.
Some of the dismissals were not befitting of the format, really.
I like that. Yeah.
And that's before we get to Gideon's comments on England. The England movement.
I suppose you got to defend your team, don't you? But it's people are upset with what Gideon said. But wouldn't be the first time it's happened. To be fair, especially on this show. But what do you want to talk about the game at all? Who did well? Smith's back. Inglis good. Usman 232, biggest ever score. Kerneman good.
Yeah, where to start? I guess one of the main conversations in it, and we do talk to Alex about this a little bit later, so won't labour the point, is the public adjusting to the philosophy of the selectors to create a completely different configuration of the team for Asian conditions, including with batters. Josh Inglis is an Asian batter selection.
Yeah.
It's a shit tip selection, which is what Hanscom was meant to be.
Yeah.
So we've had that before with Hanscom, right? Mm-hmm. It also is the reason that Sam Constas didn't play in the game. You know, I almost kind of objected to the overuse of the term dropped, you know, on that basis. But he I guess he technically was, and so you're gonna run with that. But like, I think Nathan Lyon makes these comments as well that they don't think they're a great team yet. They want to win in India and England, and I just look at this as like miles in the legs. I suppose you want to win these tests, obviously, but they're miles in the legs to scale that mountain of winning in India. It's the closest you're going to get, really, in terms of test conditions to India, and so this configuration is preparation for that, I think, which includes, like, very importantly, like Travis Head atop the order. So I thought it was a big tick, and also, like, fuck, the boys have played on some pretty difficult batting decks for, it feels like, several years. So it's okay to get a flatty once every so often.
Yeah.
And, like, it was slow. There used to be many more of them back in the day, you know, so I got no problem with guys, like, cashing in and sitting on the couch with the Dorito crumbs, you know, puffing on the old belly there, changing channels and occasionally getting out of border force.
Wasn't it? It must be like a bit of a relief for the players. Like they've almost had to, like, earn the right to play. Like, you get through, like, there's Australia prepare the decks obviously the way they want to do it to win the games, right? Which they've done for the most part for several years now, where they shit tip the decks for the seamers, and the batters, they just fancy our batters can just get through it enough against the opposition bowlers, right? And it's worked pretty successfully. Every now and again, you're going to get a Shamar Joseph, you're going to get a Bumrah. You know, other teams have good players, and, you know, you can shit tip yourself out of these games. But for the batters having to go through that, where it's fucking quick, it's going through the chest, it's going sideways at pace. And to get on this and, like, I just get the broom out. It must be like satisfaction of, like, I'm still a good player. Yeah, I can bat. Yeah, you know, because fuck, it looked impossible so many times during the Australian.
Well, saying it was like, you know, your older brother knocking you over for years, and then clearly just taking that bullying out on your younger brother. Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
right.
It was just a bit like that.
I wonder how
it was bullying.
It was interesting. Lyon's comments, wasn't it, about, like, not a great team just yet. I love that aspiration, you know, But I wonder how India, which is just famously just for Australia, it's been the hardest place to go. England's got a better record than Australia in terms of winning series recently. But like, I wonder how India will prepare their decks in the near future, right? Because basically, like, they've had two of the greatest players who've ever played the sport in Jadeja and Ashwin, and they fancied that, like, our batters can get through against you know, your Nathan Lyons, your Jack Leaches, whatever. That's right. But, like, without Ashwin and Jadeja's still on the team, but he's probably fading. Now, Axar Patel and Washington Sundar are fine bowlers, right? But they're not at that level, right? Or it doesn't seem like it. So I wonder if they might change their style, they might change their decks. Maybe they'll fancy it towards Bumrah, which might bring Australia more into those series. I don't know. It's fucking hard to win away from home, which is why this test match is actually impressive. I know, like, Sri Lanka were fucking terrible. Let's be right about that, but I don't know.
But yeah, like you lose that toss, and, you know, it might happen in Gaul. They just shit tip it even more or whatever, and you lose the toss. It'd be very interesting to see what happens. I mean, I feel like it could flip easily. Yeah, you know? But Sri Lanka do need to turn up.
Yeah, it would help if they turn up. Yeah, Kuhnemann was good, wasn't he? Just left arm spin. You just need it. You just need it in the subcontinent.
We were discussing this on the dailies that you know, it poses an issue. This magnitude of victory. Begs the question to fans as to, you know, how chest beating do you get? You know, are you meant to say, I'm worried about Test cricket?
Yeah,
like, because it occurs to me that, like, when Australia wins all the time, we worry about the future of Test cricket and the quality of opposition as it dies. And then when Australia loses, we worry about the death of Test cricket just in the country. You know what I mean? Like, either way, something's going down. You know, I feel like it's a time just to enjoy the team being good, even though you naturally want to interrogate the structural causes behind that. Right. At the end of the day, like, half the team's going to leave soon. Australia will go back in the pack, and what's happening now will be, we'll live in folklore. You know, like, now is folklore, but right now we're still going, like, Sri Lanka, are they getting enough Test cricket? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm a bit worried about, you know, both can be true, right? Yeah. But I still want to enjoy it, you know, especially if England's going to have a time again. And we're going to get it. We're going to get it hard.
We're going to get it hard.
Oh yeah,
because we're being cunts at the moment. You know.
But I just, you know, honestly, we like so we discussing. We're having a circle jerkers fandom here, going like, should we be more graceful in in victory?
Right.
I mean, what's the point of winning if you can't just beat the old chest?
Yeah, that's right. Sing when you're winning stuff.
2 World Wars and 1 World Cup.
It was brilliant how they won the war, didn't they? Sort of took their chances and. That's one of the fucking greatest clips. Alan Brazil and Ray Bartlett talking about the war.
Took their chances. Brilliant.
Tremendous stuff.
Yeah.
Well done, England. That thing of we've said it a few times before, but England having been the team that's won the most recent away Ashes, fuck, that hurts us. Because since then they haven't won a game in Australia. Three series in a row, and you know what? And their argument is just like, well, we've just won it. We've won it more recently,
they got the last away win.
And that hurts us.
Yep.
It doesn't matter that they've been a fucking flaming pile of dog shit since they've come out here. Since then, it doesn't matter because they've done the thing. And when I think about, I think you're right. More distance. I think that Australia did well to get a 2-2 when I think about it. But they had their chance in that third Test match. I'm talking about the most recent away Ashes in Headingley. And Mark Wood and Wokes, were tremendous, and they won the game for England, and then turned around from there. But that 2019 series when we had Bradman, that's the one where it's like they should have won that one. And when I think about the next time Australia go there, the team's going to be very different. Aging side, will it be the same bowling attack? Maybe not.
We'll expect to win 5.
We'll expect to
win every test.
Australia should win every game they go into.
Yep.
Every time Australia play. Now, I care about winning in England by a factor of 1 million times than winning the Border Gavaskar in India.
I agree.
Anyone
Shangri-La.
It's fucking great, that Shangri-La. I like that. Anyone who's a cricket fan in Australia and you're like, no, I'd actually prefer to win at Chittagong, which is in Bangladesh.
It's searching for any Indian city.
I'm going to go for Chittagong.
Chittagong's what bubbles up.
What a fucking idiot. Away Ashes, it's everything. Anyway, let's talk about the Washes as opposed to the Mashes.
Yes.
The Ashes are over. It's a shame. I really enjoyed just watching Australia on multiple channels at the same time, just absolutely fucking pummeling the opposition.
I didn't mind changing channels. I think it's a function of the gift of national cricketing dominance at the moment. Actually, the way we interrelate to our teams doing well is to complain.
We've got to find something.
Yeah, it's Steve Waugh's Never Satisfied. He had the No Regrets book, then he had Never Satisfied. And I think that kind of permeates.
Fuck, he's the king. He's the king.
Never satisfied.
Unless he's eating a cornetto at the tennis.
Yeah, true that. Fuck me. What a cornetto that must have been.
Shangri-La.
To transcend Steve Waugh's hardened philosophy of Never Satisfied. Absolute Shangri-La. I'm staying at the Shangri-La Hotel and Resort.
Hey, changing the channel, fuck me.
Yeah.
It just wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah.
Anyway, I suppose we would say that, wouldn't we?
I kind of like, yeah, exactly. Cash for comment type stuff.
Cash for comment stuff, yeah. Anyway, England batted first, made 170. Kingy took 4 for 45 with the leggies. And then Australia made 440. Annabelle Sutherland made 163. Beth Moody made 106. She became the first Australian woman to score 100 in each of the 3 formats, which is a pretty bloody good achievement. Sophie Eccleston took 5 for 143, all the best. And then England were bowled out for 148. So Australia won by an innings and 122 runs. Kingy took 5 for 53 in the third innings of the game. Ash Gardner took 4 for 39, so Kingy would have been player of the match. Is that right? No, Annabelle Sutherland was. Annabelle Sutherland was player of the match. But Alana King has taken 9 for 98. 9 for 98
Good.
with the leggies.
Stayed sub 100.
Yeah, clean.
Needed that clean.
Yeah. Absolute pummeling, and now England are obviously investigating, what went wrong. by a review into the sport. Heather Knight probably in trouble, I would imagine, with the job. John Lewis, you'd think equally the same. Not going to celebrate someone losing their job if that does happen. That's fucking grim gear. But you know what?
Grimsby.
Absolute Grimsby. But England, I mean, Gideon said it's the worst team to be gifted a test match. Fucking hell. He's had a big couple of weeks for quotes, isn't he? After he went bang on pup.
He didn't even do that when he was trying to be nice. But just turns it around. Harnessed to a personality of limited appeal. Hey, well done, Michael Clark, on the induction to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You mentioned that earlier. Yeah, I kind of... You know, when England capitulates, they do it well. You know, they're like it when it they know how to do it.
Know how to do it.
What I mean?
Know how to do it.
And what superlatives remain for the Australian women's team? They're a machine. Mm-hmm. They do as an optic appear like just at every level far superior to their opposition. I think Gideon also said there isn't one player in the English team who'd make the Australian team. Yeah, which is probably a couple at push, but look, I have to say, I'm not concerned one iota about the competitiveness of it. I just enjoyed it. You just must take the enjoyment out of it.
Yeah,
you know.
Part of me did tip into a bit of stuff of like, this isn't a great advertisement for the game when one team is so fucking bad. But I got over that pretty quickly, and I was like, I just like seeing Alana King just beat the bat. A leg spinner, like that is, I mean, that's like, it's the most beautiful thing of the game, right? Yeah. A leg spinner, a right-handed leg spinner. Beating the bat on the outside from a right-hander. Like, it's the drift, it's fucking...
The humiliation, the inherent humiliation in it.
Totally.
Sucked into the rip of the... As in, you know, the tide, the current of the ball through drift. Yep. Oh, it's going over here. Bang, it's gone past you. Yep. The ball sidesteps you.
Yep,
You get sidestepped like Brad Fittler snapping his neck.
He had a great step, didn't he, Brad Fittler?
Off the left.
Yeah.
Head snap.
I preferred that than like a Benji Marshall.
Me too.
It's more lighter foot, lighter touch. But
so in 20 years, when you show your kids that'll look like 1940s like stuff, like really old school, like a white boy step, basically, like guys playing NBA before black guys came into it.
I watch like an old Marx Brothers movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Old Curly chasing someone through the halls.
Wise guy, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway, what we're saying? Alana King's leg spin's like a Brad Fittler left foot step.
Yeah.
The footy's coming up.
Yeah, interesting.
Annabelle
Sutherland, 163. I mean, she's now scored 300s for Australia, and she's never made a 50 in Test cricket. She's played 6 tests, 300s, never made a 50. She obviously got a double 100 against South Africa at the WACA. That was earlier this year, I think it was. Must have been last summer. Must have been. And now 163 at the MCG. Name on the honours board. Annoyed the right people, and then Moons got it done as well, and so did Kingy on the honours board as well. So Alana King as well, just topping that off. 23 wickets for the series, most ever in a series with Ash Gardner, who got 23 last time. They were in England. I think she took didn't Ash take 13 or 14 in the test?
Yeah, I know she got 8 in an innings.
8 in an innings, yeah.
I want to say.
Yeah, that's good.
We were in England.
We were, weren't we? Is that interesting?
Isn't that very interesting for the listeners and the viewers?
Anyway, yeah, so fuck, they're good. And it makes us feel good. And it was on TV at the same time as the band. The game finished at the same time. It was fucking, I mean, it's just been the fucking greatest summer. It's been such a fun summer.
It's funny. It's been a great summer. We've enjoyed it. And yet, if you'd asked me to tip what I think should happen at the start of the summer, it's exactly this. So, on the one hand, it's par, and on the other hand, I'm exhilarated.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm actually annoyed the Australian team got bowled out.
Yeah,
for 440.
Exactly. When you read the Sri Lanka scores there before, I'm like, what, they're under the 200.
Bit loose.
That's right.
Smith, field placements. Is it right?
Exactly. Well, I like the way he does it. It's what makes him a good captain.
That's true.
And a tactically astute captain.
Yeah, all right. Hey, should we talk to? Let's talk to Alex Malcolm, who's not hungover. I don't think he was anyway. But before then, we need to thank our dear friends at Ponting Wines. Pontingwines.com.au. Use the code GETAFEW for it's 20% off your full price wines at pontingwines.com.au. I didn't see Punter last night. My mate Punter, who doesn't know my name.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him at the awards. Have you?
Now that you say that, I think that's right.
You know.
But he lives in Melbourne.
Yeah, but I mean, is he...
But does he live here? Like, he's a man.
But does he need to go as well? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, he's a man with finger in pies, right? He's got a finger in every pie.
Piesman, yeah.
He's a pies guy. He's a piesman. Yeah. Anyway, you can go to ponningwines.com.au. Ponningwines.com.au. Use the code.
And Ponning Wines.
Get a few for 20% off your full price wines. I think people have been getting behind the...
Yeah.
I think people are getting behind it. My laptop's about to die, so that's the end of that.
Hell yeah.
So I'm off the old phone now.
Oh, yeah, off the old phone.
All right, should we just say g'day to Alex? It's already happened.
Say what?
Say g'day.
G'day, okay.
Say g'day to Alex.
Yeah.
Here's Alex Malcolm.
Well, we're with the great man, Alex Malcolm. Great to have you back. A lot of people, an increasing number of people, feel very safe to hear you discuss Australian men's and women's cricket as it pertains to the international team, which is a normal way of saying sentences. So, Alex, we've just come through 2 test matches. We'll start with the men. Bailey's a disgrace. Yeah, obviously.
That's a given.
For his selections, and he's at the feeling in and around the group.
That's a given. Yep. McDonald's a disgrace. Dottermaid's a disgrace. He's now getting involved as well because he gave a brief press conference to the travelling pack when the team was announced on day one, which is very unusual. Actually, he did something similar when was it in Delhi a couple of years ago when they picked 3 spinners and Agar didn't play and Head came back in after being dropped in Nagpur. So anyway, yeah, no, really impressive display by the Aussie men. Last time I was in here, we were discussing the apocalypse of Australian cricket after Perth, and
we will again.
Pondering whether they had 5 problems or 1, and it turns out they only had 1. So and now everything they touch turns to gold, including the selectors who are a disgrace, but also seemingly geniuses because they're getting everything right. They haven't got anything wrong so far. So,
but I read a few Jeff Lawson articles in the last couple of weeks, and the first one was saying Constas should be picked because it's an opportunity for him to play. Yep. And then after the players who were picked in place of him did well, Lawson argued that proved his point, because what if Constas had played and got those runs? So once again, is Bailey a disgrace? I mean, you know, let's actually pass the idea of whether Constas should have factored in to that team who did well and won by an innings in a record fashion.
I've had people text me about that as well, beyond just Jeff Lawson. It's a thought. Again, we can never run the simulation again with different players in the scenario. Ultimately, what the selectors have said in the aftermath, and also Andrew McDonald said it in his post-match press conference, they are prioritising every test match as a standalone, as a one-off. They pick the best 11 they possibly can for that moment in time. They'd planned very clearly from a long way out. This was how they wanted to set up. Inglis was always set to bat in the middle order. Head going to the top was something that they tried and had great success with in the last 2.5 test matches in India a couple of years ago. Constas's performance in Melbourne and in Sydney had probably changed their plans a little bit or changed their thinking in terms of what their options might be. But as we've seen in the past, and Andrew McDonald said this on record in the press conference in Gaul, he just said it, what we've been consistent with makes us as a selection panel quite predictable, which is true. We can always predict the way they're going to go, and then when they get to London for the WTC final, they're already on record saying we'll pick the best team for those conditions, and it'll look very different to what's happened here in Gaul. So they'll continue to go that way up until this panel disbands, I would think.
Do you reckon, like, think about the discourse in the last sort of couple of weeks, you know, there's cricket on free-to-air TV on 2 different channels, but there's ads on it, you know, so that sucks. You know, we've got this new 19-year-old Wunderkind. He's not playing, though, so we hate that. You know, Bailey disgrace, wearing polos, etc., where he's sitting. That kind of actually, like, it does spur on, like, that's the reason why 16-0 will never happen to Australia, you know? Like, that level of, like, when we're never happy, you know? I think that actually does create, like, this culture of, like, we have to be, our identity is being the best. And, like, complaining when things are good actually sort of like spurs on like the fandom and the culture and the and what is achieved as good. You know, what we aspire to be a good team. Even Nathan Lyon the other day, yesterday, was saying like he was asked, "Is this a great team?" And he said like, you know, we haven't done this, we haven't done that. You know, I don't see many other teams around the world having the same insane aspirations of like what it takes to be good. You know what I mean? So like, even though like we mock, you know, people who complain when things are good, it actually like. That's the reason we win heaps of stuff, we being the team, obviously. Don't you reckon that's part of the reason why we win a lot?
I think it's hard if you disagreed right now.
Yeah. No, mate.
No, really.
No, I think
players, they're 6'5", 100 kegs. Big old mitts.
Yeah. And the surf life-saving culture and all of that.
Yeah, well, that's right.
No, I think it's hardwired into us. Yeah. We turn up to Olympic Games every year with a population of 25 million and expect to, or whatever we are, 27 now, and expect to compete with the United States and Russia and China. Like, we expect excellence from ourselves as a nation, and that's what drives the teams and the individuals, and there's always upward pressure from outside the team to get in the team. And it was interesting. I spent 3 days at the MCG, obviously watching the pink ball tests between the Australia women and the England women, and a couple of the journos and I were discussing the different media reactions to both teams in terms of if Australia had gone down the path and had as you mentioned, like a 16-0 whitewash the other way, I think Australian media and fans, as was proven with Perth with the men this year, they'll jump in if it goes wrong from the start, whereas I think the English media and fans take a bit longer to get there, but once it really tips over, they probably go in studs up a bit harder maybe at that point. But whereas you know, an Australian public would already expect a review to have been halfway done by Don Argus or whoever it might be, and the selectors would already have stood down, and the coach might have already stood down. I mean, but this group is different on the men's side. All jokes aside, I mean, they lost 2 Test matches in a row at home last year. It was the first time they'd done that since 2016, and it happened again back in 2010-11 during that Ashes. And both those circumstances, the selection panel was disbanded. There was significant upheaval in the team. In this case, Cummins, McDonald stayed the course, stayed calm, stuck with the process, got the results.
That'd be Brisbane and West Indies, Brisbane, Perth.
Yeah, I mean, they'd obviously won 2 in between in New Zealand, but neither of those were super convincing. But yeah, I mean, compare
home
that.
test, yeah.
Yeah, so it's, you know, they were significant defeats, but and the reaction to Perth, I think, did spur them on. I think they realised internally that they'd probably not prepared as well as they could have, and maybe taken it a little bit lightly as to India's arrival into the country off an 0-3 defeat to New Zealand at home. So, yeah.
But now we're in a place in the nation, and it is a nation, where we're pontificating on what makes us special, you know, both as a team, and now we're talking about
this is fucking arrogant
and what it is. Yeah, like I'm imagining English and Indian and other nations listening to this, going like, they're at it again now. These fucking ugly, arrogant people.
Cummins has sent the Indian team to the Ranji Trophy. You know, like England's doing an investigation into their sporting culture. Yeah, like what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, what are you meant to do when you? What are you meant to do?
We have to suck ourselves off.
Exactly.
No one else will.
That's what they've given us the opportunity to suck ourselves off. Yeah. When you win, you suck yourself off. That's how it works.
And the Anzacs, you know, 3-0 India, World Cup winners in the women's. The Anzacs.
Sorry, I thought he was like suck off Anzacs. So it was a big night last night. It was a big night.
Hey, we talk about like the World Test Championship you mentioned before. Like, where does Green play in the team? Like, like who's opening the batting? Like, Constance, we all want Constance to play, or just to look at it again. You know, now we all wanted to play in the Sheffield Shield. Apparently, fly him home. What's that team look like?
Very good question, and the way this panel thinks and operates, and again, on the messaging from Andrew McDonald the other day, he was asked about what the team would look like now, given what Inglis has done.
Tell us the team for June.
Okay.
And the batting order.
1 to 11.
They'll have to name a 15-man squad as per ICC rules, and they'll work it out when they get there. Like, they literally leave every decision until they actually have to make it. But you know, the early signs will be they'll go back to a Cena type configuration of their 11, so head back to 5. You know, he was player of the match in the last WTC final. Big decision looming Boland and Hazelwood as the third team.
Yeah.
Because Boland was obviously the best bowler in the last WTC final. Hazelwood's injury issues are well known. And he'll have gone through an IPL too on the back of a Champions Trophy, and he's still battling to try and get himself right for that.
Boland and Lords with the... Because there's a slope there. I don't know if you know that, but there's a slope at Lords. Like Boland.
But I mean, Hazelwood's record at Lords is absolutely outrageous.
Test player of the year.
Hazelwood can play the code.
Yes, he can.
Yeah.
So
and he's a horse.
Big decision there. And then, as far as the lineup goes, well, I mean, so Smith's now locked at 4, so that ruins
Matrix is back.
That ruins Cameron Green coming back in, even though he made 174 not out in his second last test. He batting at 4, third last hit.
This is what the nation. This is what it becomes of a good nation, right? You know,
so I mean, the question then looms around: how's Labuschagne going? And could Green bat at 3, or do you need an all-rounder in a one-off test match? That's another thing they'll consider, so they could play 6 specialist bats because it's a one-off game. There's enough time between then and when they go to the Caribbean, and when they go to the Caribbean, the 11 will be different again because they're expecting probably some spin over there.
Fuck, the team's good, isn't it?
Suddenly there's some depth.
There's depth and there's upward pressure. I was going to ask, what is a... You know, it seems to me that they truly treat I think the public has become accustomed to rest and rotation of bowlers and configuration around bowlers depending on conditions. But I think that the broader public, as in the, mile wide, inch deep, casual Australian cricket fan, has always understood that, like, your batting order is a set of incumbents. You don't actually switch orders to suit conditions. But this selection panel thinks of it completely differently, right? So what does a chanceless 100-on debut from Josh Inglis at number 5 mean when it comes to test matches that happen on our shores where a lot of people are watching? Does it count for anything?
It counts for plenty, and the fact that he was the backup bat at home during the summer means he's right there in the mix. That's all going to be part of the equation for the selectors to solve, and it's a great problem for them to have. He will certainly be in there. He's there as the spare wicketkeeper anyway, so it gives them options. If he's the man in form and he's the right fit for that surface at Lords or the first test in Perth, I mean, he's a great player for the back foot of fast bowling. It's one of his underrated skills, and obviously a sensational player of spin. So he's a pretty well-rounded cricketer, to be honest. So that they've got options there. It all comes back to, they start with how they're going to take 20 wickets and then they sort of go from there. But
it's no surprise, right, that Inglis's form, which has been excellent for quite a while, across white ball into the Shield and proving itself at test level now, has corresponded with an uptick in Carey's batting. You know, I mean, I might be drawing a correlation that's not there, but that's what happens in good teams, right? Just back to the suck-off. When there's serious pressure on your position, good players start to find another gear, another level, and Carey's stepped up because there's a bloke who is right there who could do that job.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think, I wonder if you start getting a bit like fantasy football with, like, because people will start calling for Inglis to be in the team ahead of Carey. Of
course.
I just rate Carey's gloves are so good. Like, Inglis is a good keeper as well, especially in white ball cricket, but just rate Carey's gloves so highly, anyway.
And he's good around the group.
Yeah, and he was retired on 46 and 98 or whatever it was in the last couple of tests. The second test coming up this week, they're just going to pick the same team, aren't they? Like, again, we all want to see Constance do a thing or try a thing, but I like it when the team wins, and they're probably going to pick a team that's going to win the game.
Yeah, and if they lose the toss and it's a ragger and they get rolled, like, there'll be all hell to pay. Next week we'll be at review levels.
Bailey gone. Head on a pipe.
Head on a pipe.
Same team, do you reckon?
Yeah, it's hard to see them changing. It depends on the surface. I think they're going to roll out a different one. And they had learned a very sharp lesson 2 years ago where they won on a ragger, rolled out the same team on a flatter surface, and then didn't get enough runs in the first innings and gave up 600 with the ball and lost by an innings. So that was a a lesson that's pretty fresh in their minds in terms of wanting to close this series out and making sure they win every test match they possibly can. That 1-1 series a couple of years ago frustrated them no end. So, yeah, they'll definitely have a good look at the service, look at their options. Yeah, it's hard to see how they would make any changes. The only spot maybe you could... if it was an absolute ragger, as in worse than the one they played on, you could consider playing an extra bat at 8. And so you wouldn't need Murphy, therefore you could pick Connolly as your part-time left up. But because your two spinners, your two main ones who did all the work in this game,
did they
probably
need 3 in goal? Yeah.
They thought it was going to be flatter. And if they'd lost the toss and been bowling first, they would have needed that. And Todd Murphy still bowled very well, took some key wickets, was able to bowl well with a new ball in the second dig, and he's a highly skilled bowler to both left and right-handers. So that's an option. I can't see a scenario unless there's some grass on it where Boland plays. So really, and then the batting lineup, I mean, why would you make a shift? I can't see where you do it.
Yeah.
So Nathan Lyon has talked about in this week about essentially the group wanting to become a great Australian team and that they're not there yet, as in they haven't won in India and they haven't won a series in the UK. Given their recent success where it just feels like it's all conquering domination, do you think, I appreciate I'm bringing this back to Constance a little bit, but do you think the program of trying to refresh the team or future-proof it will continue, or do you think it this group, the old guard, are going to try and do everything they can to tick off those things that they haven't yet done to become a great team in Lions' eyes?
I think the guys that want to go that distance will want to go as long as they can, and the conversations will happen. It's pretty clear. Well, certainly Nathan has talked about wanting to be a great team. He's talked a lot about wanting to get to 27 for both those series. It's pretty clear from the way the selectors have operated the last few years, they're more than happy to give their trusted older guys one too many games than one too few. They're not going to farm anyone off before time. They've made that pretty clear. So, but they also feel like they've blooded enough guys in and around the group over time to have options now, which is they've got to the perfect scenario for them. They feel like the transition is happening already whilst they can still back and trust their older guys. There had been some criticism externally from around the States as to whether or not the transition could have happened earlier, or particularly you could point to the Warner situation for 12 to 18 months. And you're seeing a similar thing happen with Khawaja now, although his performances probably overall have been better than what Davies were. But they were happy to keep rolling with Warner, and I'm sure that they're happy to keep rolling with Khawaja because his form, bar facing Bumrah, has been pretty good. The data sort of back that up. So, I think they'll just keep rolling, and they do need to be careful. I think they're all acutely aware, even the playing group, that they wouldn't all want to depart at the same time. I think the batting's okay. I think the attack's probably more of a worry. You got Hazelwood's injury prone. I don't know when he's just turned 34, I think. Stark's either about to turn 35 or has just turned 30 yesterday. Those two guys going at the same time, plus, Pat's 31 and has some niggles, and he's going to push through to 27, but where his body's going to be at that point, who knows? So if they go all at the same time, you look around and you see Richardson's gone in for another shoulder surgery. He's a massive question mark on what he's going to be in 6, 12, 18, 24, 36 months' time. Morris is back, has been an unknown. Bartlett's trying to work out how to become a 3-format bowler. Johnson hasn't played much red ball cricket. He played one long-form game before the BBL, injured his toe. He's not going to get another chance to play any more red ball cricket before... he's going to go as cover, I think, to Sri Lanka, and then maybe as cover to the Champions Trophy. So does he get a chance to play any long-form cricket at the back end of the summer? Who knows? So that's... And they haven't got a huge amount of sort of 25 to 30-year-old pacers coming through the ranks because, Boland's 35.
Nisa.
Abbott's over 30, Nisa's 35, and just ripped the hamstring off his bone this summer.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be one area that'd be of greater concern probably than the batting, I would say.
It's funny, isn't it? Because when this team has been like the wickets and the team has been based around the attack, right? And has been. I mean, we were just talking before. Nathan Lyon's played 135 tests, and his career seems to exist in as being like the greatest support act of all time to three of Australia's greatest ever fast bowlers. So when that falls away, like Australia will always create some batters. There's batters in the squad right now, but yeah, I think you're right. The bowlers, yeah. Do you want to talk about the women's Ashes? Are you talking about the men's?
Yeah. Well, you wrote a very woke article this week about
it was fucked up what you said, mate.
Yeah, about Alana King.
Yeah,
being really good at
feedback
cricket
for it. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, do you want to apologise for
just down the barrel,
down the barrel, actually? You know what? So we saw Kingy last night.
Putting on a clinic, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, she was unplayable during the Ashes, but I note that she's often described as this quite a slow leg spinner. And she bowls at 75, 77 Ks an hour, which IRL that's first grade pace, men's, right? And it's crass to make these comparisons, right? She bowls a great pace and she rags it, and her control is unbelievable. She's an unbelievable player by any measure, right? What you wrote was a disgrace, but yeah, she has to be the best. I mean, looking at the Ashes, I thought she was a standout player. She was player of the series. To be among the best players in the world, right?
I'd agree, and yeah, I copped a bit of blowback for what I wrote.
What blowback? So what? Sorry, people want to know. You compared her to Shane Warne because she bowled a ball that looks like Shane Warne's deliveries. That's a fair comparison.
She's bowled 7 Gatting balls.
Yeah. No, what I wrote in the opening part, I mean, maybe the headline didn't do me any favours, but wrote that essentially watching Warne was every ball felt like an event, and watching King in this series, every ball felt like an event. Something was going to happen because of her skill level. Totally. She had England on toast. They had no idea how to play her. Yeah. And that seemed to trigger a number of people to say you can't compare King to Warne, and you can't, no one should be compared to Warne, especially a female bowler bowling to that level of opposition. My clap back to that is that, Warnie's hat-trick against De Freitas, Goff and Devin Malcolm, those guys weren't exactly England's greatest ever batters, to be honest. So,
early years batters trying to figure out how to play the leg spinner Shane Warne is some of the great footage.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So she took 23 poles at 11. You mentioned her you mentioned her pace. So You guys have a huge audience, and you've got probably current international players, men's players, current first-class players, ex-international players, ex-first-class players, first-grade players, second-grade players, all the way down to fourth grade, down to subbies, down to wheelie bin park staff, down to
warehouse cricket in Brisbane as well,
down to people who have no idea about cricket but love, didn't play, cricket. But they love cricket, right? Yeah. There is a group of those men across that spectrum. I don't know how large this group is, but there is a group that definitely thinks that the delivery that Alana King bowled the other day could have been step hit for 6 back over there.
Use your feet. Get on the floor.
Honestly, I saw a couple of messages on social media. Yeah, half volley. I could smack that for 4. No worries. What I will say, and I didn't play international cricket. I wasn't good enough to play first class cricket. Correct. I played a shitload of first grade cricket, and I wasn't very good at that either.
In Perth.
That's false modesty.
Sydney threes.
Yeah.
I've faced
thre's
premiership, you guys.
Yeah, three's premiership. Yeah, with Jace Berendorf in the background. And Brad Hogg was playing with the opposition in that game. Yeah, so facing someone like I've faced Hoggy and Bo Casson and Jack Leach. Yeah, I knew you guys would love this. You can happy for you
Jack
to get
Leach, that is step.
You can get into me about this shit. That's fine. But I didn't know how to handle those blokes. So they were much better than me.
Mate,
but
don't
worry about us.
Beer, like all those blokes. If you stand behind the nets and watch Alana King bowl, you're like, this is seriously good. I watched her in the nets on Tuesday, 2 days out from the test match. She pulled the piss out of her teammates. She knocked over a Lisa Healy one that pitched on leg, took the top of off.
Yeah.
She can go up the gears. She can bowl up to 80 Ks an hour. They've done some testing with her at the National Performance Centre about her rev count, and she matches the men in terms of how it comes out, the revs on the ball. Her stock ball is outstanding. Her control of length. She is genuinely world-class at what she does. And if you're a male and you think you could handle that, you are kidding yourself. Like, absolutely kidding yourself.
I get the broom. I get the broom out.
I've had a look at it. You saw broom and then
I can't
set a bowl wider.
Yeah. I can't stress that enough.
That's when you do that one.
That's what you do.
I honestly can't stress that enough. The Australian women are that good at what they do. And the TV, and you make this point, Higgins, and rightly so. If you showed a grade game in high def, 4K,
in between Border Patrol,
that's it would look so slow.
Yeah,
and
it would
and blokes would just look at it and go, "Oh my god, how bad are we?" But they're really good. Now, all that said, you can still be very critical of some of the cricket that England played. Their fielding was very poor, substandard for a professional team, and it wouldn't matter what club team you were playing in. If you offered that kind of stuff, you'd be doing some pretty hard sessions on a Tuesday and Thursday night to fix it.
That's the point, right? Fielding's a window to the soul. Like they're just catches that they would ordinarily take that they didn't. The team was in bits.
Absolutely.
Just going back to Kingy, like they didn't take her to the World Cup. She doesn't play that many T20s.
She didn't play for 2 years. Her last game was the previous World Cup triumph in 2023.
Annabelle Sutherland in her speech last night referenced, and some of the other her teammates have referenced it as well, like how much the World Cup loss hurt them, like losing out in the semi-final to South Africa. Like it's a Middle Eastern World Cup, so like things can happen. Like the Australian team won one apparently somehow. So
that's right.
Things happen. The best team doesn't always win, but that Australian team, they should win every game. They are so much better than their opposition. Now, like that's obviously harsh, but it does seem like a massive...
It's part of the mood of the nation.
Yeah, it is.
Though.
Yeah, confidence.
We shouldn't lose.
We shouldn't lose ever. Yeah, but it does seem now like that was a fuck up not to take Alana King on spinning decks in Dubai, etc.
Yeah, they were using Wareham at the top of the order as a power hitter, and she was playing as the leg spinner. Right. And then they were thinking finger spin was going to be more effective on those surfaces. They lost one game in that tournament only.
Yes.
So they won every game, and then
they smashed
lost.
New Zealand in the group
stage. And then
in the series ahead of
and then lost to South Africa. The lesson they learned out of that, and they made a very swift improvement off the back of that, is that they were just leaving too much of their batting resource on the table.
Yes.
Like Annabelle Sutherland barely, I think she faced 9 balls for the tournament or something silly like that.
Okay.
Her and Gardner didn't bat in that semi-final. So the lesson out of that for them was not necessarily picking King, although picking King was something they should have done anyway, but it was, we've got to go harder with the bat, we've got to be more selfless with the bat, and it's the same thing the men had actually done, sort of moving on from Steve Smith in their T20 batting. It was like we have batters all the way down to 8 or 9 in the women's team. We have to just keep going. You can't just sit in and strike at 115 and 120 and be happy with your 70 not out of 50. Like go hard. If you get out, it doesn't matter. We've got depth in the shed. So that was the lesson for them. But I mean, King's proven she should be playing all 3 forms
without a wrong one either. Doesn't need one.
Yeah, incredible skill. As I said, like just you have to watch it and you just go, how are you going to deal with this?
It's pretty good.
I mean, the setup to Natsiva Brunt came in after day 1, and she sort of said, one's spinning, one's not. That's the difficult part. She got beaten in the second innings by one that ragged past her outside edge, and then the next one pitched in the same spot, skidded on, hit her front pad out OBW, beat on the inside. Like, how do you do that? And then she pitches one outside leg to Dunkley and hits the top of off. She's seriously good.
Yeah.
And how are you seeing the Sheffield Shield, mate?
Excited for it to be back. Looking forward to going down to the Junction. So there's a Dean Jones Trophy game tomorrow. New South Wales and Tasmania in Launceston. Your Blues against Tassie. So Shield will be interesting. It's because there's guys going to be coming back from Sri Lanka. So Boland comes back for Victoria. They're in the mix. Murphy's there as well. Abbott back for New South Wales. They're playing some good cricket.
Who's winning at the moment?
South Australia on top.
Australia on
top. McSweeney will come back for them.
Oh, yeah.
And there is a potential, depending on how far the guys go in the Champions Trophy, that, you know, maybe Head and Carey, maybe Inglis back for WA. We're hearing a whisper, obviously, last night that Cameron Green's aiming for the last Shield game of the summer.
Yeah.
So it could get really interesting. There could be some really good cricket played. Webster may or may not be added to the Champions Trophy squad in place of Mitch Marsh, and he comes back for Tassie. So, there's a lot to play out, and but it doesn't have as much weight on it as it did prior to the Perth Test, when it was a bat off and a bowl off for every spot in the team. But yeah,
that's when the purists come to play, right? You know, like it's not even. There's no international context to it. It's just state versus state. Yeah. That's some of the great grounds.
Binoculars, scorebook.
Yeah. Karen Rolton Oval.
Greg Chappell hat on.
That's it.
Coloured pens and highlighters.
Pencils.
Yeah. Turn them over, go to work.
Go to work.
I'm also taking 2 weeks off and won't see a Shield game, but that's okay.
You're not going to go down just as a fan?
I'll be trying to find a golf course like Higgins somewhere.
We should play soon, by the way.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah. In
golf
some
stuff. Yeah.
When I've got babysitters.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Well, Alex Malcolm, another wonderful meander through the.
He'll be very happy to hear your voice.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Great to be here, and I'm loving this photo. Actually, bringing back great memories.
Yeah, a wonderful third grade.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was.
Who'd you beat in the final?
Yeah, Willerton.
Willerton.
Yeah.
Bangers.
Yeah.
Bangers was he in the team?
He was playing. Yeah. So he's his first third grade game. That's right.
It'll make people very happy.
Brad Hogg playing in the third grade game.
People will know that you can catch. Like, there's not many journalists that can catch. You know, I'll say that with confidence. But people will be happy, like, with the authority in your voice, the tone of the voice, you know, the feeling inside the group.
That I could catch in third grade.
You can catch in three.
Right.
Yeah. It counts for a lot.
What was the feeling inside the group?
Yeah.
There's a couple of beers in there. Yeah, it was a good.
For those who are just listening on audio, we've got a media wall of Alex Malcolm with a flag.
Charlie's going through the hard drives and he's found it.
yeah, that's concerning. That's concerning.
You brought it in.
I brought it in on the old digital, you know, one of those old digital cameras.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's red eyes on a few blokes' eyes. No.
So who's knocking around your team?
People can go and look it up.
You got Dorf.
Derendorf, Cook Denial, Dave Bandy, you played quite a lot of
DB.
Shield cricket of WA.
So you play with Coults?
Yeah, yep.
And what is a Cook Denial?
He's an absolute gun, is what he is.
Yeah.
He strikes me as he's a prototype rig. You know what I mean? It's just everything about it.
Did you see the footage the other day? We did a Waste of Saturdays. We told the Tom to fuck off.
There was a few messages around the old Subi WhatsApp groups. No, I love Nathan. I was surprised he's still playing, but
is he a good bloke?
Yeah, he's a great fella. One of the most gifted cricketers I've ever played with. He took 5 in that final. Actually bowled with a torn quad. Like, he just pushed through and he bowled. We won a one-day flag that year too. He bowled gas that night. Like, he knocked over Marcus North, who'd just come out of the test team with something that must have been up in the mid-140s, nearly hit him in the head.
Perth grade cricket, it's good. Gets me off Perth grade cricket. I like it.
Texas of Australia.
Texas of Australia.
No, it was,
you get any runs in the final?
You can look it up.
Charlie?
What
year was it?
2010-11.
2010-11, Subiaco Floreat. First grade grand final, Willerton. Something. Alex Malcolm Willerton.
How many
get runs?
Beers, cock, how big?
That's right, red eye.
Red eye, yeah.
Horse cock.
Because Coulton was a volleyball guy, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. So he played volleyball with my brother-in-law, actually. My brother-in-law represented Australia in beach volleyball. And,
really?
They played a bit of volleyball together as kids at school.
Okay.
But yeah.
A couple of rigs knocking about.
Yeah. Freakish athlete. One of the most talented players I've ever played with. When he was up and going with the ball, it was really special. Yeah. Berendorf was outstanding as well. He took 6 or 7 in the semi-final for us.
How old was he there?
He would have only been 20, I reckon.
Wheels, though?
That's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit quicker than he is now, but, like, swung it. Like, he could... No, we had a great run with those guys.
So how many internationals were in that game? Like 8. Coulton, Berendorf... North Hogg
playing for Wilton, Bancroft. I think that was it.
Okay, international journalist as well. Though.
Yeah.
The year after we lost the grand final, we had an attack of Berendorf, Coultonal, and David Willey was bowling first change for us.
See, what if there was a Australian grade cricket Champions League? You know what I'm saying? 3 people would like that, including me.
Subiaco versus Gordon.
Yeah, that's right. 2005 Gordon as well, when they had Bo Casson.
Oh yeah, they had Bo Casson, and Shipper.
Yeah.
Craig Simmons.
Shipper.
Yeah. What do you got here, Chuck? You got
anything?
128.
Oh.
Does that sound right, Alex?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
What was the score in the first innings, Chuck?
I don't know the scorecard.
It was 6 for 390, so it was pretty flat.
6 for 390.
Yeah.
Open the batting?
Yeah.
Are you captaining?
Yeah, no.
You were young.
Dave Bolton was captain there. He's hiding in
DB,
with
sorry.
his glasses. But, no, it was
128 red?
No, I got out.
You got out. Threw it away.
Threw it away, yep. Threw it away. Scratched around.
How many rocks?
Plenty. A lot. Too many. It was pretty slow going. Yeah.
Did you bat into the second day, or?
Yes, I did actually.
Yeah.
So selfish.
Yes, I was.
That would piss them off.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
And then they
got close. They made 380 in the chase.
Really?
Yeah.
Bowl them out.
We dropped a heap of catches. So one of their blokes got it was 9 down. It ended up being a draw. We dropped a catch late. Should have won the game, but we won because we finished top. So
that's 10. It's a tense final. 390 plays 380.
Yeah,
Did you
really
finish top? So you won?
Yeah,
you finished top.
Yeah.
Because you got the flag.
Holding the flag.
On the runners up flag.
No. Played in some close ones. Yeah.
Won a couple of comps, did you?
Langer got 180 in one, chased them 9 down against us. One of the first ones we played in.
What's it like playing against JL in a grade game?
Holy
that is
shit.
Unbelievable.
One of our mates sledged him on the way out.
Why did they do that?
Good question. So this is 2007.
Yes.
And he'd done an article in the paper saying he was really nervous to play for Scarborough because he'd never won a flag with Scarborough. And he'd literally just played his 100-plus tests and retired 5-0 Ashes winner 2 months earlier.
Oh, fucking
And
hell.
so we
Chaired off the SCG. Yeah.
So we'd made 320 for 4 or 5 and declared. And then
In the final?
In the final.
So did you need to win, or?
Yeah, we needed to win because
Yeah,
they'd finished top. And he walked out the bat, and one of our blokes checked him and said, he looks pretty nervous, boys. And he hit the first 3 balls for 4 and just glared at him. Like, just glared at him. And then he smashed us everywhere. But he was plumb LWW on 100 and given not out. And we dropped him on about 150. And we had him 9 down with 20 to get, and he and Jack got 20. Well, he got 20 he got the last 20 with Jack hanging on. So
What did he do when he hit the winning runs?
oh, huge celebration. Yeah,
Big celebration.
Arms aloft.
Yeah.
And
Was he batting in the Australia lid?
yeah, he actually would have been. He would have taped over.
Oh,
Yeah.
JL.
JL and the Aussie lid.
Wow.
Yeah, he had it. Well,
Scarborough.
they wore the same colours, so he would have had the badge taped over.
that's
taped
Yeah.
over,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure that's right. Yeah,
Fucking hell.
Did they have anybody else?
yeah. Doropoulos played in that game.
Dropper.
For them, yeah, they had a good team.
He's a good bloke. There you go.
Great player. Like the best junior cricketer I ever played with.
Really?
Yeah, freak.
Yeah, he was like Aussie 17s.
Aussie 19s.
19s.
Yeah, he was unreal.
He scored like 160 against England or something like that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just bullied bowls.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Fuck.
I love having you in.
Yeah. Grade tails. Grade
I
tails.
love Perth stuff.
Yeah.
I appreciate the tyre pump up though. It's nice,
Yeah.
nice to be reminded that I wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So.
Turns out you couldn't catch though.
No, but
Absolute symbols.
every game after that, I just kicked him in front of middle and off.
Slalom.
Drop punts to mid off.
Yeah. All right, Alex Malcolm. So good. Thank you so much. He's very, very generous to do it. So really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much to Alex for giving us his time, for coming in to the studio and giving us 40 minutes and talking about his grade career.
Yep.
I like Alex. He's fucking god tier. He's god tier guest for me.
S tier.
What does the S stand for?
I don't know.
Chuck? He's gonna get back to us.
back to you.
Sorry, Chuck's busy. I'm still trying to get up what we're talking about here. Should we talk about
6 points?
Yeah, 6 points pale.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of cases left. I think we have
Not many.
We haven't checked in, but
Good reviews on the beer too. Good
Yeah,
drop.
yeah.
People actually enjoying it.
weird, isn't it? People enjoying it.
People enjoying it. It's not just a novelty beer.
Mate, what about how hot it's been in Melbourne the last couple of
Yeah.
days? I wouldn't mind a couple of 6 points myself, although I am of course never drinking again.
I'm not a drinker.
No. My Bucks
I don't
party's in a
drink.
couple of weeks.
Yes.
That's going to hurt. We're going to Bradman's house.
Selfish timing.
We're off to Bradman's house for the Bucks. Airbnb styles.
We'd be like Michael Clark. I heard overnight on the project, he said at his 40th he got in his full whites and baggy green and played cricket. I mean,
how do we feel about that?
I don't mind it.
Because I think I like it.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Oh, Florima doesn't like it.
I would have loved if Pup was there last night, you know. I've still never spoken to him. Just go up, say good day, you know.
Of course, Australian captain. A player par excellence.
I mean, there's got to be a couple of stories knocking about, you know. Anyway, yeah, if it's the full whites bit which gets me, because at least he's doing a bit then, you know.
Yeah,
he's in his house.
Pads.
Who's bowling? Who's there?
Yeah, you want to know more?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's sort of if it was a salacious sex tryst.
Yeah,
I'm listening more.
Warney styles, yeah.
Well,
Colour me
Warney might have
interested.
been
Yeah, that's right. For his 40th. How old's Clark then? He'd be in his like early to mid 40s. He's not that much older than us.
No, I don't think so. Only a few years older.
A couple
really.
years older, yeah.
42, 43.
Yeah. When he was like, when we were just coming to grade cricket, he was just a fucking, he was almost in the Aussie team to be fair, but he was still around grade cricket a little bit at Wests.
I remember
he was just the fucking best.
Yeah, he was 43.
the best player.
Yeah, he was going to captain Australia.
He was going to captain Australia.
He was next cab.
Yeah.
I remember the old SCG in Dornets, you know, where we all went and felt it was state of the art at the time. We all went, and every time you were there, you were like, well, it's in the shadows of the Sydney cricket ground.
Yeah.
And it was at the time, you know, it had the state of the art feel, and whenever you went there, you were like, I'm one step away from playing for Australia.
Totally.
You know, you might see New South Wales players knocking around, etc. And I remember I was leaving some, you know, training or other there, and I saw, maybe it was in a bin, like a 5 or 6 page stapled dossier on a batting analysis of Michael Clark, which would have been given to him, and it was him when
He put it in the bin.
I don't recall much of the substance of it, except that there were a lot of like components of his batting that were rated like 6 out of 10 and stuff.
Okay.
And he hadn't made the Australian team by, I think he was just on the, like, he might have been like a Colts New South Wales player or something like that.
Got it.
And I remember looking at it going, Michael Clark, who gives a fuck? You know, my dad's like, you should keep that. That'll that might be interesting when you're older.
Yeah.
And I said no, chucked it out. And Dad was right. I would love to have seen that again.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck's
Is
going on in
everything
this- in
okay?
this studio.
Sorry, just can hear the toilet going. Flo needs to get out.
It's fucking hot.
Yeah, it's all
kicking off
happening,
Yeah. big old couple of days. Big summer, Pezza. Yeah, I remember going when you used to go to the SCG nets, like because it was like the New South Wales were trained there. Sometimes you'd see them. You might see like an injured Australian player knocking about like in the distance, or just people in tracksuits. It was just people in rep tracksuits, and it was fucking intimidating because everyone had the cricket look on, where like no one was impressed. Everyone like arms folded behind nets,
Absolutely.
peering over shoulders, neck on a swivel, head on a swivel, head on a spike.
Yep. Right, Bailey.
Everyone was quick because it was obviously AstroTurf indoor nets. But it was at the SCG, and so you felt like you were doing something with your life when really you were just in year 9.
Paying overs to get a net.
It was a fucking mile from my house as well.
Well, actually, I was training there once, just with a coach, one-on-one, and VVS Laxman was having a net.
Fuck, no way.
Yeah. And again, I was just like, 16.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd done... No, in fact, he would have... Kolkata would have happened by then. But yeah, so saw VVS Laxman have a net.
That's cool.
I think he actually came down to the Tigers once, VVS Laxman.
Really?
Check that out.
It's so funny when you're in the... Like when you're playing,
yeah.
you're just so unimpressed by everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not allowed to impress by anyone.
No way. When you're playing...
You don't even watch cricket when you're playing.
Yeah, that's true. You're so immersed in it, you're beyond watching. Truly.
You don't watch the thing that you aspire to do.
Yeah.
The Australian team, catch the highlights.
They're guys just on the circuit just like me.
I train at the nets.
At the Sydney Cricket Ground.
Anyway, 6 points pale. Click the link. Buy some beers if you want. let's talk about. By the way, shout out to Budgy. So next week will be the last podcast for the season.
Yep.
Not for the year because it's in February. So we'll probably do some pods for the Ashes.
Yep.
And some stuff in between, of course. But one more show next week before we wrap up the summer. Wrap up the season. I think it would have been 16 shows. I think we would have done.
That's more, yeah.
More than that, and there's been one or two other things that we've done than just main pods. But anyway, so the second last shout out for Budgy Smuggler. You can get the TGC themed budgies in 2 designs. You got your navy, you got your sky blue. Just 2 more weeks before that runs out, and then it's gone. Obviously, the t-shirts are obviously all gone as well. But budgysmuggler.com.au, and you can find it there. Again, link in description if you want to get behind Budgy, as they have with us for several years. Kohli got castled in the Ranji Trophy. Mate, what about the scenes in Delhi there at the collar? I mean, there was like packed out crowds.
It wasn't packed out. A lot of people saying that. I've seen.
Oh, it wasn't packed out,
but there was I think it was like 10,000 people there.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. I mean,
that's more than a test match. The test win.
That's true. I did it. Yeah, we were there at the last one.
We were.
Aussies played there. Again, very interesting to the viewers and the listeners.
People think we're cool now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess first things first. Pat Cummins, as you said to Alex, Pat Cummins has forced all the Indian players back to the Ranji Trophy for starters. So that's 1-0 Pat.
Yeah, 1.
Yeah. And Kohli, Kohli walks at this guy. What's his name? Himanshu Sangwan. He walks at him, sort of smashes him down the ground.
Yes.
And then just does it again. And is it the off peg?
It's off, yeah.
The off peg is cartwheeling. It's sailing through the air.
Yeah.
It's almost staying ball for a while.
Yeah,
It's flying through the air straight.
Yeah.
Like it's staying stump, no rotation.
Oh, gorgeous.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
That has just got to be one of, I know how many Ranji Trophy games that guy's played, the bowler, but that's just got to be the greatest moment of his life.
Well, I mean,
sorry, anyone bowls Kohli like that, it's the greatest moment of their life.
I mean, what about the photos you've got for the rest of your life there in your house? Kids, grandkids, great grandkids.
I looked at I don't know how it got fed to me, but I looked at how many like Ranji Trophy games that Kohli's teammates had played.
Yeah,
and some of the guys had played like 2 or 3 games, and that must like what Kohli is in India, right? I mean, we all understand it. It's like a religion over there.
Really interesting analogy.
Thank you. And I just thought of it just then. And so if you're just starting your first class career, and then Kohli has to come back, and that must be fucking incredible for those guys. I saw he was signing bats for his teammates and stuff. I mean, it's a nearly absurd punishment, like what's happened to the Indian team. They have to go back to Ranji Trophy. I mean, these guys play more cricket than anyone. The Indian cricket team plays more games than anyone else. It funds the game, right? So, well, it's like a religion.
It seems to be going well with Gambier there, I'd say.
It does seem to be going pretty well.
Gambier, Rohit, Kohli, that triumvirate all seems to be working pretty well.
They seem to be in control.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep. It's smooth sailing from here, yep. And Kohli scored some runs, and then he got like 6 or something, so...
Yeah. And then there was a headline saying, bus driver told me to bowl 5th stump line to Virat Kohli and he'll get out from the bowler. Himanshu Sangwan stumped by surprise advice. Kohli's got issues when the bus driver's like, mate, 5th stump, rock and roll. Anyway, obviously ignored it, just went straight for the pegs.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Champions Trophy, just a quick one. So Mitch Marsh, our close personal friend, the Bison, he's out with the Jimmy Jack of the Champions Trophies. That's a loss. That's a loss for the Aussies. I honestly don't know what the interest is in the Champions Trophy in Australia. It's going to be obviously on Amazon. So... that always automatically makes it less accessible. Of course, what you can do is you can just sign up and you can just watch it if you want to. But it's a step. Like, how much do you want to do it?
Yeah.
That's the question. Now, that's
not an ad. Not an ad, by the way.
No.
I mean, might be later.
But that's just the thing about it being on free-to-air TV. People watch it and they care about the team. But I guess my point being is it's automatically a bit hidden. It's one-day cricket. I don't know what the fuck the Champions Trophy is. I honestly don't know what it is. I understand it's a one-day format and, they play it when they fancy
What
it.
you've got to understand about the Champions Trophies is it's actually just a confected way for India to play Pakistan, which is a sort of a financial boon for the game.
Oh, right? that makes sense.
So that's what you've got to understand.
That makes sense, actually.
I stroke my chin and a water cooler.
I hadn't thought of it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's sort of the way money works in the game.
Big rivalry, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, really.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so Mitch Marsh is out. I don't know.
He's had a horrible run.
Yeah.
Vice.
Yeah.
That's cricket, I guess. Yeah, I don't. Champions Trophy. I mean, are you having a look at it? Here goes. I want to see the optic. I want to see. I want to see jerseys and things.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm. I don't know.
Are you getting around it if Australia's, they're at the pointy end?
I watched the final.
You're watching more than that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. I forgot how much I'm watching.
Work,
I forgot that I was watching as much as what I was. Yeah, that's right.
Did you see England and India playing some cricket at the moment?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And,
yeah. Now this is funny.
Yeah. So Shivam Dubé in one game went off.
Yeah.
And he was replaced with a concussion sub. Shivam Dubé being a left-handed middle order batter.
Yeah.
And
who can bowl?
Who reportedly can bowl in the nets, and is always kind of like slated to bowl.
Yes.
And an option to bowl. Yeah. But rarely is it seen in the wild.
Yeah.
Who
they replace him with?
And he's replaced in the second innings when India's bowling with a right-arm fast bowler called Harshit Rana.
150 clicks.
Yeah. And I remember that guy. I remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sort of remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He made a big fuss at the start of the Test series, and we just never. Funny.
Harshit Rana. Yeah. I think I can picture
nominative determinism.
Yeah.
But he was the replacement for the left-handed middle order batter. Was replaced in the bowling innings with a right-arm fast bowler, and then England had a few issues with that. Rightly
did.
so.
They did.
But the thing you got to understand about the game is that.
Yeah.
But in the next game, didn't Joss Butler?
He named
four substitutes, each with different skills. Gold. That's good.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing you got to understand about cricket is that there are different rules knocking around for.
Yeah.
Champions Trophy should be good in that respect. Actually, I like how in India is on a by the water. And everyone else is in lockdown Pakistan.
Yeah,
so it should be good moving around.
Seems once again like it's fair for everyone. It's fair for all teams.
I'd say.
Equal. Yep. Everyone knows where they're going to be playing and like what team to pick and what circumstances and just the environment around that. It's just going to be. It's just even for everyone, which is good. And people respect that, actually. Yeah. People wouldn't be disgruntled or anything like that.
Competitive integrity. It's good. It's actually a key pillar.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's really good.
It's my favourite thing about cricket.
The Aussies are looking forward to it.
Yeah, the boys can't wait. Yeah. I actually thought about leaving Sri Lanka early to get there ASAP. AskTGC, Pezza.
Yeah.
Is brought to you by Smith Optics Australia. Smith Optics have, you guys know, if you listen to the show for a period of time, how much Smith Optics have got behind us. And just want to say thank you to the people that have got behind Smith Optics as well, because they've had a great summer. They're supporting us for the dailies. And people are just really enjoying the Smith Optics gear. I mean, the sunglasses they're churning out it's
Dan churning.
It's I'm tempted to use Shangri-La again, but I just have just now, so I've done.
The sunnies, yeah. You got some behind you there. Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yeah. I do. I'm actually not sure which ones these are, but options are available. I mean, I've got so many pairs in my house now. Yeah. I went through a rotation. These actually might be slightly older styles. These might be last season styles, but I mean, they're all there at smithopticsaustralia.com. You can use the code FAST, and you can pay a quarter of the price. Well, sorry, a quarter of the price is off. You pay three-quarters of the price. Damn it. I almost lied to the people just then.
Yeah.
That's scary when
you would have been in contravention of Ad Standards Australia.
That's right. smithoptics.com.
Back them the way they back us. If you need some shades. If you play cricket, I mean, if I'm playing cricket, we've never gone down the cricket angle for this.
Well, why would we? Well, I feel like the team are doing that. Yeah,
I suppose so. Yeah, it's implicit. But like, if you are a cricketer and you've got days in the dirt, they look. I'd just have a little hit of dopamine to put that on before I go out to the field.
Totally. I'd love to
put my long sleeves on, chuck a few down there.
Hey, I was talking to Kingy last night, and I was talking to her about I wasn't happy with her BP sunnies that she was wearing.
Oh, you just told her direct because you've been calling her out.
I have been calling her out. Yeah, and she said,
"For wearing servo sunnies."
Which one are you again?
Yeah.
And
that's right. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, who called you Sean?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But someone did. Yeah. I got Steve. I got Sean.
You know what?
Charlie likes that. Yeah.
I think we might.
Thanks, Sean.
We might review the summer how it's been, but yeah, thanks, Steve, as we walk out from Rick Finlay. Is absolutely.
Yeah, okay. You've dead named him. He's not dead.
Nah, we talked about it on Patreon.
Oh, I do have Patreon. Yeah. But that is one of the best because we spent the whole summer pretending that Rick was there next to us on the ABC when he was getting his lunch. He's had it was his one chance to get lunch to get out of that hellhole when we are there doing whatever we're doing. Yeah. Asking Rick to pull up stats, not even there, so we walk out at the end. There's a lot of people in that room. It was like John Howard was in that room.
Yeah,
Harsha. Not that I think Johnny was listening, but
no.
Yeah, Harsha was there. Maybe Sonny. See you guys. See you, Buff. See you, Buff. And then see you, Rick. See you, Steve. Really fell over.
You never make it. You never make it.
You never make it. Never.
What was John Howard doing in there?
I think he has an open invitation to the commentary box whenever he's at the cricket at the SCG.
Okay.
And I think they sort of he gets asked. I think the box that he goes to is like the corporate box. Is next to the com box, and he asks if I think he asks if Jim's on, sort of thing. So and then they have a chin wag. So. And very sharp. He's still got his wits about him.
Well, I remember when we performed in front of him twice.
Yeah.
we performed in front of former Prime Minister John Howard twice, and I'm yet to see him laugh.
Fair to say. There was a lot of quizzical, bemused looks. So I don't think anything turned into something that remotely resembled a smile or a chuckle. But, yeah.
I wonder if we made Tugger laugh. He was there as well. Anyway, Smith Optics Australia.
Boys have a bit of a joke.
Use the code FAST for 25% off, plus a free TGC cloth gift. Now, I put the call out on Patreon, Pezza. Flo's in the studio, by the way. Pez's dog. Pez's dog.
Nearly finished, buddy.
Yeah, and he's been a good boy. I'm getting to it now. Sorry. Okay. I'm just going to read out the questions rather than names. That's probably safer on the show.
I think it's safe, yeah.
Are we now in the Australian century after India's current demise from a level 2 fan?
Level 2.
From a level 2.
Level 2.
Level 2.
I mean, we can give background to that. People have just been talking about how on the... so this is on Patreon, when we do AskTGC Fridays, where it's Lusa, Darko, Ben Rora. People have been talking about either them or their children receiving different levels, receiving different amounts of NDIS funding under the NDIS,
right?
Based on their autism level, and they are discussing going up and down the grades.
Yep.
First grade, second grade, etc.
Information exchange.
That's what's been happening, and that's why he's said that, or she, probably he. Australian century.
Is it the Australian century? Things are good right now.
Yeah, but look, I just think we're in a good period, and you got to enjoy it. There's swings and roundabouts, goes up and down, but I don't think we're talking about I don't think we've got structural domination ahead. You know, like I don't think we've got like pillars in place to be like, look, we should never lose for the next 100 years. India does. You know,
yeah, that's right. It always looms, isn't it? That like you just figure once India gets it, they'll never let it go.
But we've come to learn to need to get it emotionally.
Yes, yes. Well, Gambia will sort it out.
Yeah, he's the man for the job.
He's the man for the job.
Yeah. Clear out the deadwood.
Yeah. How frequently does Annabelle Sutherland say, how many fucking tests have you played to Will?
Yeah.
Does Manscaped have any good deals on it?
I get the feeling they're just a lovely family, the Sutherlands. Like, and I think
Annabelle Sutherland came on the show, I reckon, like 5-6 years ago. So she must have been like 17. I remember where we were. I was in Melbourne, but I wasn't living here yet.
Living somewhere else.
Yeah, we did it for my hotel. Anyway.
Okay. Cheers.
We spoke to Annabelle Sutherland once. How cool is that? How long will this feeling of safety last? Yeah, I think, well, the Women's World Cup is in India. It's an ODI World Cup. That's the middle of the year, I think it might be. They need to win that without losing a game. But
is all this chest beating meaning that we're cruising for a bruising?
Look, Ashes looms large, as it always does.
Yeah, amid furore as catastrophe looms. I'm
thinking of things that I wouldn't give to have an Ashes whitewash when the blokes come out here next summer. I mean, it's too tempting. Now, of course, like, imagine if England had won the first game, as India did this time around. You know how scared we'd be.
Whiteley out of control, which I'll tune into. Yeah, oh yeah, that's part of the brand of stuff as well. If Australia loses a game, it's crisis, catastrophe looms amid furore.
Who more exemplified the TGC logo this weekend, Bouchier or Kohli?
Yeah, couple of pegs everywhere stuff. I'd say Kohli.
When did Pezza bring out the night costume at the AB medal?
One of the great nights, ARIA Awards 2005. I was employed to promote Bogue St George, so I dressed as a knight. So when you got a costume on, there's a lot of good things happen.
Yeah.
A lot of good things. John Butler shoulder charged me. And then I tried to set up the guest on the night was Johnny Knoxville.
I didn't realize. Do I remember that?
And then
you told the story, but
so I was with my mate
Yeah.
Sparks. Shout out to Sparks, one of the great men. And
great beer, Sparks.
Oh, great everything. Oh, no, I'm not going to tell that story. And
Do you listen to the show?
he does sometimes, but when he tells me, it's like it's always very alpha. It'll be like
Totally.
But he's a lovely man. A great man. But anyway, he was like acting as my sort of chaperone, I suppose. But really, we were just like my uncle was working at Bogues, so it got me in to do this, and
Yes.
it was really just an enormous night on the piss, age 20. But I had to do this first for a couple $100 and a 6-pack. Well, I think they came in 4-packs actually, Bogue St George. Anyway, and yeah, we had like it was a full like red carpet stuff and in a limo and like
Yep.
and yeah, like Sparks is going up to Johnny Knoxville's like agent, going like, all right, can we set something up where like the night charges at Johnny, and the guy's going like, yeah, you'll get your shot, but it never happened. Sorry, I mean that just falls flat, doesn't it?
Yeah. Is he big? Knoxville?
Yeah, he was. He
Tall?
was big. Yeah, he was big.
Yeah.
I remember him being big.
Yeah.
But I also kept calling Dan Kelly, who was Paul Kelly's nephew, DK, DK Lilly. I had a really earnest chat with the lead singer of Augie March, who just released One Crowded Hour, saying it's one of the great Australian songs of all time. He says, thank you very much.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yep.
Nice little 35 points in golf on Sunday, he goes. Would have brought in the handicap in a smidge.
Oh, here we go. So what, your golf results are online?
I guess so, yeah.
And people are Ian Higgins golf Victoria points.
No, it'd be someone at the club. It must be someone at the club that's seen me play. Yeah, I don't think I'll be playing golf this weekend. LJ's not happy. I stormed in last night. You're looking at your fives, at your 5 bells.
5 bells, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Particularly, yeah.
Doghouse gear.
Yeah. Particularly funny when just before the show started, you said you were going home after it finished.
I did say that.
Yeah, that mate.
But you know, at the same time, like I was never close to going home. Like,
yeah,
I like the idea
it's
of
nice. We're lucky to go to a night like that. That's all it is.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And to catch up with people that we talk about.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
in real life.
That's right. Should Australia bat or bowl first in the second test?
Patreon chat popping off. There'll be a new discussion thread.
Lads, pay fuck pig here. Just wanted to say hello, daddies. Nice one.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, g'day. Announcement where is?
Stay tuned. Stay tuned, I'd say.
No, I can't read that. Should Kingy be selected for the second test? Something to think about. All right, I think that'll.
I need to take flow out.
I think that'll just about do. Thanks for joining us here on TGC.
Different tone and tenor.
A different tone and tenor,
Pace, energy.
But thanks for joining us. Thanks for getting behind us. Thanks for giving us opportunities like we had last night. That's because of you
Absolutely.
guys. So, thank you so much for supporting us. Anyway, one more show for the summer.
One more show for the summer. Yeah.
One more show for the summer
stay
next
tuned,
week.
obviously. Stay tuned.
All right. See you later.